Hello, everyone. We are continuing to talk about book talks with children's books, and we are going to talk about the second type of book talk. This one is called a character description book talk. These work best with books where there are very distinctive main characters, and they are the most important part of the story. The book I chose for this book talk is Pay Attention, Carter Jones by Gary Schmidt. In this book, Carter Jones goes to his door one morning, first day of middle school, with the rain pouring down, to find a gentleman's gentleman, a butler, on his doorstep. Very surprised to see this man, Carter Jones goes back to get his mother. When his mother walks out, she too had no idea he was coming, but finds out that he was willed from her husband's father, who recently passed away, and in the will left the gentleman's gentleman to his son's family. Dad is currently in Germany on military assignment, so he's not even there, and Mother is frantically trying to organize the chaotic household with the older son, Carter, and 3 young girls and a dog. She's at first very wary of this man, but as she takes him into the home and gets to know him, she realizes that he is the perfect answer to what she needs right now. He arrives in a purple Bentley, which Carter amusingly calls the eggplant. And Mr. Bowles Fitzpatrick, the gentleman's gentleman, tells Carter that actually it was his grandfather's and was willed to him, Carter, when he becomes 18 years old. Meanwhile, he endears himself to Carter by letting Carter in 6th grade start learning to drive it. Carter is wary also, just like his mother initially was, of Mr. Bowles Fitzpatrick, who organizes everything, insists on using the King's English, and keeps the household moving. But Carter's not so sure about him. Gradually, though, the butler endears himself to Carter, and one of the ways he does that is he wants to teach Carter and his friends how to play the English game of cricket. The beginning of each chapter has a brief tip about cricket or description of how it's played. So by the time you finish reading the book, you feel like you know something about cricket. It becomes a wildly popular game at Carter's middle school, and the butler is a big part of that. As we go through the book, the butler begins more and more to take the place of a very smart, nonsensical, and compassionate father figure to Carter, which is a great thing when Carter and his family find out some very bad news. Dad is not coming home from Germany. Dad has found someone there he's become attached to, and he will not be returning to the family, who of course are devastated. On that particular night, I'm going to read you something that went on with the scene in the family to give you a better idea of how the butler talks and how he comes off, which in many, many ways adds a lot of humor to the story. This is right on the night that the family has found out that Dad is not coming home. That night, Carter speaking, my mother suggested pizza for supper, even though the butler said, "Madam, permit me to protest." "Let's make it easy this one time," my mother said. He looked at her. "Pizza is Italian," he said. "The children all like it," she said. "Have you ever eaten pizza?" I asked. "Perhaps you misheard my recent ethnic identification, young Master Carter. Pizza is Italian," said the butler. "So that's being objective in order to discern and express truth?" "There are limits to all dicta," said the butler. "You can't say you don't like pizza if you've never tried it," I said. "And yet there are so many things I can say that of. Monkey brains, squid tentacles, whale blubber. I feel quite confident in adding pizza to that list of things that I know I would detest despite not having tried them. Never mind the fact that one would always do well to avoid food served out of an automobile." Can we have pepperoni on it? Said Emily. And pineapple? Said Charlie. My mother looked at the butler. One night, she said. The butler hesitated. And sausage? Said Emily. The butler heaved a great sigh of despair, like he'd just heard the whole world was about to end or something. In for a penny, he said, and went to make the phone call. So the butler, while he tries to adhere to what he thinks is most proper and should be done, and in the best interest of the family, is a very compassionate man too. I hope that you will read this book to find out more about Mr. Bowles Fitzpatrick, both for the humor involved in the story and for the pathos and ways that the family comes through a very difficult time together with the help of this very special Mary Poppins-like character who doesn't use magic but compassion and common sense to help his family. That's Pay Attention, Carter Jones by Gary Schmidt.